For coming this morning. Special welcome to our casters and our distinguished guests from the foundation. I'm supposed to leave out today, and just as I told everybody, flight got delayed, and I'll leave out about 24 hours. So this was going to be my last act here at Fort Campbell for the next year or so, but a pretty important thing we wanted to talk about the museum. I think everybody knows we've been working for about 10 years to build a brand new museum right at the corner of 41 Alpha and Tiny Town Road. There's been a sign up there. People have been working on that very, very hard. I think, as you all know, we can take about 20% of the divisions, this legendary division, 20% of its artifacts are on display in this current museum right now. So 80% we cannot show to the public. And that's just a crying shame. All right? We really want to get out and put out this great memorabilia to honor our veterans, both past and present. And especially the last 9 years in the war on terror, we cannot show barely any of that over here. We've had a plan in the works for about 10 years to build this museum. And over the last couple months, we've re-looked at that, and we looked at a phased approach to doing this. And Robert Nichols, if you can come on up, Robert, from the Executive Director of the Foundation, will go a little bit more detail, but briefed me on taking a phased approach to this thing so we can get it up a little bit sooner. And with this phased approach, they'll kind of lay out the diagrams for it. Everything we wanted in the original museum will still be in the phase one of the museum. They've taken out a couple things we may not need, IMAX theater, for instance. And then a covering that we were going to put over all the helicopters and all the airplanes on the outside, that'll come in a phase two. But other than that, everything we wanted to get in the original museum will be in this original piece, and we think we can get there much, much quicker by doing this phased approach. And we absolutely have to get these artifacts out there so that the public and the veterans can see what this legendary division and this post has to offer. So we're here in our great museum right now, but we look forward to the day that we can really move this out into a brand new museum, and with this new phase approach, I think that we're going to get at it much quicker. And as one of the last things I want to do here before heading off to Afghanistan was kind of open that up. And Robert, if you can kind of go through the details, and we'll take questions as they come up on it, but they got some great drawings. Kim, I think, the architect will show some drawings that we're planning to do. We really want to generate the interest back up again for this great facility, so we get moving with this piece and get it up. And we know that it'll bring a lot more people here to the Kentucky, Tennessee area to take a look at this great museum once it's built. So by going this phased approach, I think we'll do it much quicker and get these artifacts out there. We really wanted to bring everybody in to kind of show them what this new approach was. So without further ado, Robert, I'll turn to you. And
well, thank you, sir.
I won't go very far.
On behalf of General Retired Betty P., he could not be here today. Welcome everyone for attending this great day for us. Myself and Jack Turner, who will speak shortly, have been working with this project for over 10 years. And the reason this is so exciting is, General, our plan is to finish this project in about 2 years, and by the time you get back, sir, we're going to start moving some dirt and start the construction of this museum. That's our strategy, that's our plan, and we want to thank you for giving us this opportunity. What I'd like to do next is invite the architect, Kim Hinton, of Tuck Hinton Architects of Nashville, to come up and give a little more detail of this phased approach. Kim, sir?
Thank you. Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Many of you are probably familiar with the design, the previous design we had for the museum. It's over here, an illustration. And we were asked to look at a phased approach for the design, one that would allow the building to go up much quicker. What I'd like to do is just briefly go over a couple of key points about it's more of an adjusted design than a redesign. Highway 41 is at this location. The building design is on a hillside, so it's very accessible and very visible from Highway 41. Behind the building will be a new memorial park and parade ground, and all the memorials that are out front of this building will be moved to this new location, so they're accessible to the general public. You won't have to go through Gate 4 to get to this museum. There'll be an immediate access right off 41, right where Martin Luther King Boulevard, Tiny Town Road comes into that road. Now, one thing that I wanted to mention is the plan for the museum is a phased approach now, with a single level building here with memorial grounds, and then phase 2 that will be built in the future facing the highway. Most of you are aware that the preeminent exhibit firm of Ralph Applebaum and Associates has prepared all the exhibit designs, and the exhibits are under fabrication currently in Nashville at 1220 Exhibit Company. Those Ralph Applebaum Ralph Applebaum Associates are known for their exhibits at the Holocaust Museum and many other very famous displays. The Rose Center in New York City, the Dinosaur Halls, they're arguably the best exhibit designers in the world. And their exhibits are thrilling, and we want them to be on display. So that our new strategy allows a different configuration for the building, an adjusted, phased approach. But I just want to remind everybody, all these exhibits are currently being made, and they will be displayed in the new building in Phase 1. And Phase 2, we have changed the strategy so that the airplanes, which were in the original scheme, will be immediately in front of the building, and they will be enclosed with a great hall in the second phase. This is the new plan, or the revised plan, and the significant changes that the building is now, instead of a two-level tiered building, is a one-level building. It is 68,000 square feet. It has all the exhibits in this side of the building, which is almost the identical layout in the original design. There's still a spacious lobby to receive groups. Parking is immediately to the west. To the east will be, the planes will be located, and this includes everything from the C-119, the Chinook, Apache, C-47, and other planes that have played a part in the great success of the division. There'll be actually an overlook where you can come out and look over the planes because it will be slightly lower on the topography. To the immediate north will be a multi-purpose room, restrooms, a gift shop, an interactive exhibit display, and museum offices in the back area. And I want to point out, so all the exhibits will be placed here. It's about half of the building design is involved with exhibits. The other side of the building here, this multi-purpose room, I'll show you a diagram of that. Look what's above me is one of only 4 that I know of in existence is the gliders that landed at Normandy. It's an incredibly valuable artifact. It's 80 feet long. I don't know if you've ever noticed it in this museum here. It's somewhat cramped in this position. So our idea is to place the glider, because it needs to be inside a building, is to put it inside this multi-purpose event hall. So that the room is a display chamber, and it's also a place where you can have sit-down dinners for 200, or you could have a lecture or movie presentation for around 500. You could have an open reception, just a reception to hold 5 or maybe more, 500 maybe more. And you could also use the space for exhibits, temporary exhibits, or maybe even trade show. Different things that occur that need public access from Highway 41 and would bring visitors of all varieties to the building. You can see how the glider would be placed in a tilted fashion, so that when you walk in the front door and are coming into the space, you're looking at the glider the way the Germans were looking at the gliders as they came over into Normandy that night. Also, we will have 2 paratroopers that are being made and fully outfitted in authentic World War II outfits as they came down from the skies in Normandy. So this room is about 6,600 square feet, and we think that it's a slight change from the original theater. We've done many museum facilities, Country Music Hall of Fame, the Frisk Center, and other facilities, and a flat floor space like this with a stage really provides the most flexibility for the most number of events. So it's a good approach for this phased strategy. We've made some adjustments in the elevations, but showing you a building section. The building's very long. It's 540 feet long, so it's almost 2 football fields long, about 30 feet tall. And then one section is actually taller. That's where the glider is, and that's about 60 feet tall. So this is a section as if I'd taken a chainsaw and run it right through the middle of the building. All the exhibits are here in a tall space. It'll have a 17-foot clear and actually a 20-foot clearance to the structure. And then the taller space for the glider. If I cut a section in the other direction and look at a larger scale, the lower drawing shows the main exhibits here, main historic events of the division, and then the battle operation systems and stations in this part of the exhibit. All those exhibits are the ones being made now. They include Connex boxes, and it allows much more display of some of the precious artifacts that you see surrounding you here.